Hello everybody, this is Old Soldier. Today I'm going to do a review on the Fort Lewis Danner. The Fort Lewis Danner was built in the 1980s as a boot that you could buy and go on a 12-mile road march the next day. And that's exactly what I did. So in 1985, I was assigned to as an infantryman in the 82nd Airborne Division. And these cost, at that time, the princely sum of $175, which... at the time was a good bit of money, and they cost even more today. But they did live up to billing because I literally bought them and went on a 12-mile road march the next day and had no blisters. So there's only, in my experience, there's only two pairs of boots that would perform like that I even consider doing this with. And that is these, the Fort Lewis Danners and the Lowe Zephyr Mid TFs. And that's a very comfortable boot. The Lowe Zephyrs, however, were designed, 25, 30 years later, solid 20 years later. So these are authorized, or were authorized, and from what I read, are still authorized for military wear. These are the uninsulated pair. Now, these are Gore-Tex, which means they're waterproof, and that has been my experience. They have always kept my feet dry. And at the time, as you can notice, these are orange. The ones that have the purple inners, those are insulated with 200 grams of Thinsulate, pardon me. And at the time when I bought them, the people that I talked to said, hey, for this environment, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, that makes them too warm. So I decided to go with these. These have kept my feet nice and warm and dry for the most part. Now, I have worn them in the extreme cold and snow in the Rockies on many occasions. For the most part, they've kept my feet dry. One time, I did. It was almost a little bit too cold. It's a long story. And I had gotten in some stuff the day before. My feet were still a little wet and cold from that, and they didn't perform quite as well. But I've owned these for well over 30 years. They have not let me down. I guess that was the only time they kind of let me down, and it wasn't that bad. Had I walked a little bit more, it's a long story, but more on me than the boots. So like I said, these are the uninsulated ones. The insulated ones are purple on the inside of the liner. That's how you can tell the difference. I've seen these today on the market from anywhere from $360 to $420, but quality does count. They're a lace-up boot. They're a heavy boot. They're Vibram soled. These probably are in need of, if they're not in need of being resold now, soon. And I will tell you from first-hand experience, they keep a good, this Vibram sole or grip keeps a good grip on aircraft floors. Jumped them many times, static line jump mastered many times with these things. Now, a lot of you will say, hey, they are kind of outdated. And quite frankly, that may be true, but there's still a lot of places, especially in the military, where you still have to wear, some sort of cold weather, some sort of black boot. Now, some of you might be saying, hey, why don't you get something more modern or lighter weight, like a pair of Salomon insulated. These are insulated outdoor winter boots, and these are a excellent boot. I don't have nearly the experience with them. You can tell the tread is still nice and clean, but I have used these a lot. They're a great boot, but they were designed probably 25 years later. Some people like a leather boot. Some people have the requirement for a higher top boot. And I know probably a very small portion of this audience is military or was military. Well, was military, but is military. There's a lot of units where you can't wear something like this, but you could wear something like this. So, and these are probably about half the price or less than these. So I'm not saying these are a bad thing. They're a very good boot. I still wear them both. All right. I tell you, the quick lace up on these is nice, but this isn't a review on these. This is a review on the Fort Lewis Danner. So, like I said, these are a comfortable, durable boot, and I bought them in 1985. It's 1922 or 2022, so a 37-year span is pretty well. Is a pretty good span. It's a pretty good run. So, if you are in the need, you like a leather boot. At the time, Gore-Tex was a revolutionary thing, and those have definitely kept my feet warm and dry. One thing I will say with a leather boot, some people, they treat just regular leather boots with mink oil or some sort of leather preserver or waterproofer. The manufacturer's Danner does not recommend that, and the reason why is Gore-Tex is breathable, and if you use that on the Fort Lewis Danners, it'll plug the Gore-Tex or clog the Gore-Tex, and it won't be as breathable, and your feet will sweat. So just a little piece of trivia. But if you are in the need for a high-topped leather boot, and it's a big price tag, it was, believe me, I think 1985 I was an E4. $175 was a lot of money, and $360 to $410 is still an awful lot of money. But you get what you pay for. They are a quality boot. So I'm interested to see what the remarks are in the comments. But that is my review. That is my review of the Fort Lewis Danners. This is Old Soldier out.